A very good evening and a warm welcome to the State of Business. I'm Nishani Pigirat. First, a look at the headlines. Chinese ambassador says industrial zone is a must if they get Hambantota port. And much talked about Google Loon project hit by legal hitch. In tonight's main story, the Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Yi Xiangling, says that there is no use of getting the major stake in the Hambantota port without an industrial zone. He also mentioned that the port deal will not be finalized until the government solves the internal issues. He expressed these views addressing the 13th Sujatha Jayawardena oration, in which he delivered his speech under the topic One Belt, One Road Sri Lanka-China Relations.
First, I must say Hambantota port is really a good one. Hambantota is the best location for Sri Lanka and also for international navigation, international shipping law. But we should not just have this port. If we just have the port, it's enough to support the operation of the port. So that's why I made the suggestion to both presidents, Chinese president and Sri Lanka president. We should have an industrial zone. So this experience, not only Chinese, but also perhaps you can check with all the South Asia countries, even Singapore, even Ireland, US, Japan. Most of the country get a fast development through a special zone.
The Chinese ambassador had met around 22,000 people from Hambantota recently and had explained to them about China's intention to revive the area economically. The stakeholders of the Hambantota port project were to sign an agreement in January, but it was postponed due to stiff opposition from the area residents as well as from political leaders.
We fully respect the government decision and the consensus of the people, Sri Lankan people. We have no any intention to intervene the internal differences between politicians or between political groups. I must say all leaders, former leaders, current leaders, future leaders, some people say there will be future leaders, are my friends. We are quite close. So I do believe these big projects will be most important for Sri Lanka in the future under the initiative of the Silk Road.
The Chinese envoy noted that the proposed economic zone would be a viable solution for Sri Lanka to develop that region.
The Silk Road for Sri Lanka, this is the economic one, it's a social one. Silk Road for Sri Lanka at least have 3 millions, at least 3 millions. You know, in the past, China is already the #1 financial support to Sri Lanka. Totally, it's almost $10 billion. $10 billion, including grant, donation, and also concessional loans and commercial loans. I do believe everyone here knows the relations and help each other between China and Sri Lanka. We also get so much support from Sri Lanka. We are not in any position to use Sri Lanka to target any other country.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister spoke about Hambantota port project at a media conference in Colombo today. He said the discussions on the agreement is in the final stage.
It was investment that came in that required such. So whether it is Hambantota, Matara, Galle, Monragala, whatever the area was, is what was being looked at. So it was from that aspect, I think the Chinese government feels that we are genuinely responding to their requirement. So as a result, we are basically giving the answers for their proactive response. When Rajapaksa privatized CICT, they basically gave 85%. We have looked at and tried to make it 80 or better and give you an option to buy back also further. So to show that it's not a sellout. It is a win-win. We don't have money owing to the past activities to have an open public investment program. So as a result, we are looking at the public-private partnership. So with that, they say, okay, if 80 is, we are willing to be flexible on that because they don't want to show that they are coming lock, stock and barrel bought the country. The 80% can come down, so then it has to be bought back now. It has to be bought back locally or in the stock exchange. But whatever it is, then it's not dominant in one person. Well, it is a the Hambantota port is something in motion, no? It is inactive, but it is in motion. So as soon as the go-ahead is given, they'll basically bet on.
Minister of Telecommunications and Digital Infrastructure Harin Fernandez says the proposed Google Loon project has been hit by a legal snag. Addressing the media, the minister said the project might go to another country if this delay continues.
Currently, what has actually happened was, with this project, unfortunately, Google is very ready, but unfortunately, Sri Lankan things does not move as the way that we want, and that I am criticizing my own government, but unfortunately as it is, things don't move as fast as we want it to move. There's a stumbling block somewhere. Initially got stuck at TRC because the spectrum was not released. Then we went into the cabinet. Fortunately, the ministers were very vocal, and they pushed for it, and they said the Google Loon project is a fantastic project and we all approved. But however, since we are a member of the ITU, International Telecommunication Union, there was an issue about using the spectrum and using the 700 megahertz spectrum for this testing. Therefore, we have now referred it to the AG to see for approval to see how we had to move forward about it. That's where it has got stuck about releasing the spectrum for the Google. So unfortunately, if we delay further more Google project, we may miss the opportunity of the Google project. It might go to another country.
Time for us to slip in for a short break. Do stay with us for more news. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. The Urban Development Authority is undertaking census on high-rise buildings constructed in the country. It will identify whether proper procedures and the approval guidelines are being followed by the owners of those buildings.
ඒ අනුව අපි తాවකාලිකව දැන් සංගණනයක් කරගෙන යනවා මුළු රට පුරාම පළාත් පාලන ආයතනවල අපේ අවසරයට පිටතින් ඉදි කරලා තියෙන ගොඩනැගිලි මොනවද කියන එක. අපිට වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙනවා කොළඹ නගරයේ පමණක් එවැනි ඒවා 1800ක් තිබෙන බව. ඉතින් මේක ප්‍රවණතාවයක් හැට ඉස්සරහට ගියොත් මාර්ග තදබදය ඇතුළු විශාල ප්‍රශ්න ගණනාවකට මුහුණ දෙන්න වෙනවා. ඔබ හැමට පේනවා ඇති සෑම තැනකම ඉතා තට්ටු 5කට අවසර අරන් තට්ටු 10ක් කරනවා. ඒවට නඩු දානවා. නඩු දැම්මට ඒවා නඩු විසඳන්න අවුරුදු 20ක් යනවා. මෙන්න මේ විදිහේ ගැටලුවකට මුහුණ දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්න අපි ඉදිරි 6 මාසයේ ඇතුළත ක්‍රියා කරනවා.
The minister expressed these views addressing the media following the groundbreaking ceremony of the mega entertainment project at Water's Edge.
රාජ්‍ය ආයතන ගෙනියන්න බෑ රාජ්‍ය ආයතන පාඩුවේ ජනතාවට බරක් මේවා විකිණිය යුතුයි කියන අවස්ථාවක අපි මේ වෝටර්ස් එජ් ආයතනයෙන් වගේම ලබා දීලා තියෙන විශාල ආදර්ශයක් නැවත වතාවක් රටට අපි මෙහි ලාභාංශ 40%කින් වැඩි කරලා තියෙනවා. අද ඕනම පෞද්ගලික විදිහට පාලනය වෙන ඒ හෝටලයකට තරංගයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් තැනක් බවට අපි මේ ස්ථානය පත් කරලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මතක තියාගන්න අපිට විශාල කොන්දේසි ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවා ඒක කරන්න.
Stocks closed on a mixed note today. Let's find out why after this break. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today due to price losses in counters such as Carson's Cumberbatch, John Keells Holdings and Aitken Spence Hotels Holdings. The All Share Price Index dropped 1.78 points to close at 6,173.72, and the S&P SL20 Index gained 1.95 points to close the session at 3,547.86. Turnover was 633.1 million rupees and 37.2 million shares were traded. Crossings were witnessed in Lion Brewery, Axis Engineering and John Keells Holdings. Mixed interest was observed in People's Leasing and Finance and Ceylon Bank. Meanwhile, foreigners remained active, closing as net buyers, mainly due to foreign purchases in Chevron Lubricants. Up next are the day's forex rates. And with that, we sign off from the newsroom for tonight. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.